I'm annoyed about one name that's not on the Team Canada's Four Nation prediction sheet, and it blows my mind. Let's get into it.
Hey, this is Brayden Chen. Subscribe to Locked On Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome back to Locked On Blues LOB. I am your host, Haley T. Simon, talking with you all things St. Louis Blues here in the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I know it says Face the Nations, but we're going to talk about the Four Nations today, some predictions I have going on for that one, and also reacting to the projected Team Canada's roster. We have the Jets preview, and then my confidence meter with this team now that Coach Montgomery is here, and they're on a point streak. So I definitely want to talk about that, but you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. I'm annoyed. I'm actually visibly annoyed. I'm very annoyed about something that I saw. So let's dive into it. A bunch of reporters like Chris Johnston of The Athletic, TSN, Pierre, Darren, David, they all kind of came together. You know who I'm talking about. They all came together and they basically made an expected roster for Four Nations. And of course, you have those names like Connor McDavid, Mitch Marner, Sam Reinhart, Marchand, Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, Braden Point. There is no Robert Thomas. Okay. I'm looking at defense. You have Cale Makar, obviously, Shea Theodore. You have former captain Alex Pietrangelo. So Petro. And then you also have Colton Parayko. So I was happy to see that. So, right off the bat, I'm like one current Blue, one former Blue. And then you have Jordan Binnington starting in net. Backing him up would be Aiden Hill of the VGK. So a lot of VGK because I also have Stone. But I am really excited about this for the guys that I obviously, root for, right? Obviously having Colton's huge and also having Binner's huge. But the fact that there is no Robert Thomas, it just blows my mind. And I hate to be that person because I sound like that person right now that's going to complain about something so silly. But at the end of the day, Robert Thomas is our best player and he's from Canada. So make it make sense to me. In terms of our other forwards, like I know Jordan Kyrou is from Canada, Braden Shen's from Canada. Holloway's from Canada, obviously. Neighbors is Canada. Matthew Joseph is Canada. P.O. obviously Canada. Now we're talking defense. But yeah, other than that, we have a lot of guys from like the United States. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that Robert Thomas not being on that, it does bother me. Like you have players on, and I'm not trying to diss, but it's like Sidney Crosby. I guess I get why they have Sidney Crosby. Actually, do not come at me for this one. But it's so infuriating. And I don't know. It just really does bother me, but nothing I guess that we can do about it. It says that John Cooper is supposed to be the head coach for this, so I guess that's cool, but I don't know. Is it bad that I'm kind of like a little bit annoyed about Robert Thomas, or am I? But anyways, there is other teams. So there is Finland, by the way. So this is basically their list, like Sebastian Aho, Barkov. I didn't realize how many Finnish players that there were in the NHL. I don't believe that there's anybody that nope, nobody on St. Louis. Obviously, we don't have any Finnish players. But it's just one of those things where they're getting released, but it's so I'm so infuriated. And this is Sweden's projected roster, by the way, because I gave you the Finnish. Trying to think of any names like a Leo Carlson, Philip Forsberg, obviously. Elias Peterson, it might be a name that you know. I'm trying to think of names that you might know. Eric Carlson, Victor Hedman, Rasmus Dolan, Hampus Lindbom. So those are just some names. I don't know if anybody knows. A lot of Rasmuses on that team, obviously. So that was Sweden. And the thing is, like, I know that we have, I believe it is, who is it that is from Sweden? Simon Robertson. That's who it is. He is from Sweden. I knew that off the top of my head. But anyways, this is the U.S. projected roster for Face the Nations. I just, listen, do I agree with every decision that's being made? No, I do not. Do we have players that are going to be on Team Canada? Yep. But Matt Boldy, Cole Caulfield, Kyle Connor, Jack Eckel, Jack Hughes, Clayton Keller. I guess Clayton Keller could count as like a hometown guy. Matthew and Brady Tkachuk, Tage Thompson, Jason Robertson, obviously Quinn Hughes, Noah Hannafin, Adam Fox. So yeah, it's essentially everyone who we thought it was going to be. But I am excited though for Binner to be looked at on a bigger scale. I think that it's one of those things when I think about Jordan Binnington and I think about how great of a goalie he is and how underrated he is, that this could be a good thing for him. This could be a good thing for the organization, for people to see him in this national type of level and not just on St. Louis. But hey, he's representing Team Canada, which is a big deal for the four nations. But I still think it's a joke not having my boy Robert Thomas. I really do. And like, I don't know if anybody even put Robert Thomas down. Okay. Okay. So November 3rd, who wrote this? NHL.com did put down, I believe they put down Robert Thomas. Did they? No, because I don't see any. Yeah, this whole thing is a mess. I'm actually, oh, wait. It said 2 changes. Yeah, one of the changes was replacing Robert Thomas. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Such a joke. Yeah. So if he wasn't out, he probably would have been in it. Oh my goodness. It's just like it's frustrating not having Robert Thomas in it. But then you see other names, and I'm not like trying to say that these players aren't good, but some of them are a little bit older, and I'm like, how can they be for the Olympics? And they just, hi. But no, I do hate though that we're not having an all-star game. I love the all-star game. And that's my biggest complaint about this whole thing is that we don't have one now and it's taken over. And I get it. But then the break is also really long too. And I was looking at my calendar and I don't know. I would prefer to have an all-star game. I would prefer to not do this, but I get why they're doing it. But I guess I can't complain too much because we do have the Winter Classic that we're going to be in. So that's a plus. I don't know. The NHL schedule, everything about the NHL this year has just been so weird to me. Like every little aspect about it, I'm just not a huge fan, but it's my job to talk about it. So that was some of my frustrations with the four nations. So now I'm going to talk to you about my friends over at PrizePicks. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. PrizePicks is the best way to get action on sports in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. You can join over 10 million users and sign up today. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means that you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like a Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. So one thing that I want to do this week for you all is to say that Jack Hughes might have more than 4 shots on goal and Panarin might have more than 1 assist, okay? So that could 100% happen. So if you want to make that a reality, download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNHL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNHL to get your $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. I know I talked about my frustration with Robert Thomas not being in the lineup for the Four Nations. However, Robert Thomas is in the lineup against the Winnipeg Jets. Wow, that transition, Hale. I know. What can I tell you? I am excited to say that Robert Thomas at least will always be in the Blues lineup when he's healthy. And better yet, he will always be on the first line. So on the first line tonight, centering is Robert Thomas. To his left, it is Brandon Saad. And on the right is Jake Neighbors. On our side line, centering is Braden Shen. To the left is Dylan Holloway. On the right is Jordan Kyrou. Sonny is centering the third line, and Bold Duke is on the left, and Matthew Joseph is on the right. And then finally on that fourth line, it is Foxa centering with Alexi on the left and the Aussie Nathan Walker on the right. We take a look down at our defense on that top pair. It is Philip Broberg and Colton Parayko. Ryan Suter and Justin Folk, and P.O. Joseph and Matthew Kessel. In net tonight will be Joel Hofer. I know. But I think he's going to be okay tonight. I really do. I feel good about what's going on. Bushi, by the way, just so you can know, he is lower body injury. He skated Tuesday morning, so this morning in Winnipeg, but Coach Montgomery said that he will not be available against the Jets. Hopefully they can use him Thursday in Calgary. Texier, who also played on Saturday, he is going to be sitting out. Saad was skating for the first line Tuesday with Thomas and Neighbors, and he is expected to play just like that against the Jets. And with Saad moving up to the first line, that makes room for Dylan Holloway to go alongside Braden Shen and Jordan Kyrou. So I personally am excited about this, and I feel good when it comes to going up against the Winnipeg Jets. The thing is, though, the Blues, they have work, right? You know, it was really tough, and I know Benner, he talked yesterday about how he really wanted that one goal that Matvey Michkov scored on him in their OT loss against the Philadelphia Flyers. But he also said it was a really fun game, chances at both ends, and by the end, the rink was sold out. It was fun to play in front of the home crowd, and we really wanted that. But we fought hard, and I think the third period of showing that resiliency to tie up the game that late for us was big. We got to take that with us moving forward and keep working. I do believe, though, that this is the Blues heading and treading in the right direction. I really do think that. The thing is, you can be a good hockey team and you can have all the right players, but in the NHL, you can't just be a good hockey team. You have to be excellent. And that's what Winnipeg has really done. They've taken this NHL season by storm with how good they've been. I know they're on a 3-game losing streak, okay? I know they lost the Dallas Stars on Sunday 3-1. I know that, it's been a little bit rocky. But here's the thing. They're still a significantly better team. And I'm not trying to belittle the Blues in any way, but I mean, at the end of the day, the Jets are just a better team. By the way, Captain Braden Shen is 1 point away from earning 400 points as a Blue. And Dylan Holloway is on a 3-game point streak. And if Coach wins today, then that means that he'll be the second coach in franchise history to win the first 3 road games, as Mike Yeo did with 5 road games, which is crazy because it's Mike Yeo. But I want to focus more on the Blues and the Jets because let's just say the game happened, right? Blues won, Blues lost. Does that even matter? Well, yes, it does. There's a lot that matters about this because here's the thing. I want to take a look at the Jets. Kyle Connor. I say that name, and what do you think? I think, oh my God, he's going to score in us. That is my fear when it comes to Kyle Connor. That's what he's good at doing. I also think about Mark Schifele, like good players, right? Now, I like Colin Miller with scratch. I actually do kind of like him. And here's the thing. Hofer's going to be making his first start since making 27 saves and a 5-2 win at the New York Rangers on the 25th. It's been quite a while since Hofer's been in net. It's December 3rd. There's been a good amount of games in between. Actually, no, not really. They played New York and then they played New Jersey and then they came. Yeah. But it's been more days. When I'm reading names like that, I get like Adam Lowry. I get Mason Appleton, like Morgan Barron. Like I get nervous and I don't like it. And that's my problem is that I really don't know. I always like to look at the betting people, right? Like, where is the money line tonight? Well, the Jets are minus 179. So that says that the odds makers think the Jets are going to win, which might happen. But this team surprises me. The Blues do surprise me. So I don't know. But I also want to look at statistics, right? I'm a big stat person. Okay. The Blues are 1-8-1 against the Jets in the last 10 games. Yeah, this might be an L tonight, honestly. Yeah, no, this is not a good statistic. I thought it was a good cheeky stat. Nope. Oh, wow, that is really bad. It's a really bad statistic. The last time the Blues beat the Jets was March 19th, 2023. Well, that's not good. Yeah, they're 12-1-1 in their last 14 games against the Blues. So, yeah. Okay. Let me go talk about my confidence meter with this team. And because this is actually making me kind of depressed. I'm going to be honest with you. This kind of killed the vibe. I was like, oh, optimism. Nope. FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Isn't it crazy how we had so much football and now it's kind of like nothing? Well, don't worry, folks, because we do have football this Thursday. It is the Packers at Detroit. I think Green Bay is going to come in and win. It's Jordan Love season, and I feel pretty good about this one. So, honestly, money line on that. You have some good games this Sunday. You have the Browns and Steelers. You have is it good games? Chargers and Chiefs, Bills and Rams. Okay, not a lot of good games, but it should be interesting if you use FanDuel. I like to bet during the games. It makes it interesting for me and it makes it more fun. So definitely check it out at FanDuel.com. I think one thing that you and I need to talk about is our confidence meter with the Blues. Do I feel like I have more confidence with this team now that Coach Montgomery is behind the bench? My answer is yes. Do I feel like this team is capable of doing a lot more than they could have done a month ago? My answer is yes. Do I feel confident about tonight's game? My answer is no. You see, Philadelphia has been playing significantly better hockey. So am I surprised that they won an OT? No, I thought the Blues were going to win that game, but it is what it is. However, even though Winnipeg is on a 3-game losing streak, the Blues and Jets just don't match up well against each other, especially with these players right now. So it would be hard for me to say, yeah, I feel really confident about this because I honestly do not. And that's the issue, is that when you don't have confidence in your team and how they're playing against some of these better teams, it's going to make you nervous. However, we did not see the Blues play against any of these teams in the West since Coach Montgomery. They beat the New Jersey Devils, who are one of the best teams right now in the Metropolitan, doing great in the East. The Rangers are a mess. Philadelphia has its issues. So is tonight, besides the Devils, obviously, is tonight the first real test for the Blues? This is a big test for Joel Hofer. I'm surprised they put Hofer in net tonight. Is it because they expect they're not going to win? I don't know. I don't have those answers. But what I do know is that tonight's game, it does have meaning. And there is, I don't want to say a lot at stake because that sounds bad, but there is a lot that we need to kind of keep in mind. This may not be an exciting win. This may not be a good loss. This might be an ugly loss. We're used to that at this point, I think, but my confidence with this team won't change based off of tonight's game is what I'm trying to say. If they win, they win. If they lose, they lose. I'm not going to look at this game as in, oh my goodness, they didn't win, it's over. No, because that's not the reality. The reality is they're playing a tough team. The reality is if they do win, that's awesome, but can they maintain that? It's not just as easy as wins and losses. So that will do it for today's episode. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about this game with the Blues and the Jets, and as they get ready to take on the Calgary Flames in a couple of days. Until I like how I have a Toronto sweatshirt on today. And I was talking about Team Canada. I went to this is such a side note. I went to the Hockey Hall of Fame and I got a little Toronto sweatshirt. All right. I will talk to you tomorrow. And like always, let's go Blues.